IBS FSU International Podcast.
Good afternoon to all listeners of the IBS FSU International Podcast. In the next 20 minutes, you will be with me, Lisa, and a group of incredibly energetic students. Stay with us for a boost of energy, and we are going to begin now. Today is the 12th of August and concurrently International Youth Day, World Elephant Day, and the Day of the Mad Dawn. I hope that you meet the dawn with the people dearest to you and with the warmest stories and interesting news. By the way, about the news, literally in a few seconds you will hear a selection of news from the information department. Win, the floor is yours.
Latest news review on IBS FSU International Podcast.
Good evening. NASA explained what is UFO team will study and why is important. American Space Agency, NASA, is making a team to study and identify a real phenomenon, UAP, unexplained occurrences in the sky that cannot be linked with an aircraft or recognized natural phenomena. NASA have access to a broad range of observation of Earth from space. They have the tool and team who can help us improve our understanding of the unknown. Given the paucity of observation, NASA's first task is simply to gather the most robust set data from civilian, government, non-profit companies. The research will take around 9 months to complete. A 29-year-old Chinese woman named Wu started criminal activity in 2017, who met with 18 men at once, deceived them for an amount exceeding 2 million yuan. The fraudster insinuated herself into the confidence of men, convinced them that she wanted to marry them and conduct a pre-wedding photo shoot, and Wu demanded money from them, most often under the pretext of helping her family. But the scam was eventually revealed. She asked one of her lovers, Wang, to act as her brother in order to expel Wu. Wang demanded a meeting with her parents. If not, Wang intended to take his money back. Wu said she was not able to pay back quickly. Thus, Wang contacted the police to reveal the scam. Johnson & Johnson to replace talc-based powder with cornstarch. Johnson & Johnson will stop making and selling its talc-based baby powder around the world from next year. J&J faced tens of thousands of lawsuits from women who alleged that talcum powder caused them to develop ovarian cancer. But the company reiterated its review that decades of independent research show the product is safe to use. The position on the safety of our cosmetic talc remains unchanged. In April, a shareholder proposal calling for an end to global sale of the talc baby powder failed. Johnson's baby powder has been sold for almost 130 years. They claim that they made the change for their future portfolio. That's all the news so far. The next issue is very soon. Win Information Service BFSU International Podcast.
Latest news review on IBS FSU International Podcast.
IBS FSU International Podcast.
Good afternoon to all listeners of the IBS FSU International Podcast. Lisa is with you. Topics related to the mysteries of the universe and possible life in other galaxies often become leading in many conversations. For example, among friends at night in the kitchen. At least, that's how it happens to me time to time. I have always believed in life on other planets. At the very least, I consider it rather unreasonable to categorically assert things that we cannot prove in any way. But based on the scale of our universe, it's much more likely that life, of course in other forms, exists. But what will my fellow experts say? Will they be able to make strong arguments for and against the existence of aliens? Please stay with us. We are going to discuss our vast universe right now.
We are IBS. Debates on IBS FSU International Podcast. Good evening, everyone. This is Konstantin Malkov in IBS FSU International Podcast. Today, our experts brought us one of the most key essential topic for discussion, and we have Louis.
Hello.
Adam.
Hello.
We have Lisa and Win. Hi, girls.
Hello.
Win, are you here with us? Hello to you, Win.
Yeah, hello.
Hello. All right, guys, which topics did you bring to us tonight?
Can we do the existence of aliens?
All right, quite interesting topic. Why did you decide to discuss this issue?
Because I think it would be a fun debate on whether A group of people think that do aliens really exist or not?
Are we really interested in aliens and alien civilizations the same way how the first contact, the book was written, I bet it was in 1973 or 1979. Do you have any ideas about it?
I have never read the book. I am curious. I'm not curious on how alien life works. I'm just curious on if aliens do exist. And in my opinion, I think we have not discovered the universe, the full extent of the universe yet. Therefore, I would like to believe that there is more to see, and I believe that other life forms do in fact exist. So
I have actually a question. If the UFO will arrive to our Earth, will you go with the aliens if you have the invitation?
right now, or
I'm not sure. Maybe right now, maybe tomorrow, maybe yesterday.
if you're talking about right now, I mean, sure, it beats studying. So I mean, yeah. But if you're talking about if I'm an adult, maybe I'll reconsider. But right now, why not? I mean, my town is pretty boring.
I can get it. Elizaveta, you brought the topic also. So what's your opinion about it?
Personally, I would have found out the conditions on the planet, but honestly, I don't have the huge desire to go with aliens right now because I have other
How
plans.
come? Whoa, maybe your plans can be switched because traveling to the other civilizations and world can be just a unique opportunity. Don't you think so?
Maybe you're right.
Maybe you will find your alien boyfriend there. Maybe you will create a family if they have the family as a social institution. This is an interesting topic to discuss. Experts, please join the conversation.
But for me, I don't really believe about aliens because the point that we have some pictures like I see in the news, like such as UFOs and aliens, but they are really interesting and really different to stop us like have a look at what is that. But the point is we don't even know that how life began, and we don't even know what is really special on this planet.
I have a question for you then. Probably, what is in your mind is the real appearance of the aliens? Are they beautiful, handsome, appealing?
I think it's just a fiction because aliens only appears in cartoons, animations.
And what about the books? Probably a huge industry, even a genre, scientific fiction was written about the intergalactic, transfers and spaceship flights. Guys, maybe you have something to add on it.
I don't really think that aliens look the way they are described to us on movies and books with big green head and big black eyes.
And the tentacles for sure. Do you think that aliens
Yes.
have the tentacles? Yes, they do. So they look like an octopus. Maybe it was just a kind of a fiction and it came from imaginary pictures of the science fiction writers. Don't you think so?
I think so because it's just for us to have a frame of about aliens.
Is it a reflection of our scares, or is it just a, let's say, imagination which brings us to some
I mean,
creative
the
pictures?
way that the cartoons describe it, it may be fiction.
Okay, the appearance of aliens became a fiction, or a plot of imagination of aliens really exists. Nobody knows in this case what to think about the appearance of our intergalactic friends. This is IBS BFSU International Podcast. Please stay with us. Debates on IBS BFSU International Podcast. Debates on IBS BFSU International Podcast. Welcome back. This is Konstantin Malkov and IBS BFSU International Podcast. Welcome, friends. Today we're discussing the issue of aliens. Are they real or not? During the first release, we discussed the appearance of the aliens. So now we're going to discuss another questions. So, guys, what else you have about this topic?
I didn't get to say this earlier, but I think it's not quite far off that humans, that I think you mentioned it just now, or I may have misheard. I think it's not far off that the way humans, when they talk about aliens, they must have wondered, are there life outside of this galaxy? And it is fair to think yes, because we've never seen anything other than Earth. So what's to say that there's nothing else in the other galaxy?
By the way, once I captured the UFO as far as I could imagine it. I captured an UFO on my video, and I was showing this video to all of my friends, telling this is a UFO. And it was kind of, like a plate or whatever is it, kind of, round object going up from the surface and disappearing in the skies. Probably it was another American satellite or Soviet satellite or even Chinese satellite. I am not sure about it, but this video actually made an excitement to many of the friends of mine.
Or maybe it is sometimes a drone or something that is designed like a UFO, and people just take a video and kind of take up like a fake news or something like that.
You mean they created it on purpose to scare the people and kind of excite them on this topic, right?
Yes.
Quite interesting.
Guys, we have been taught since...
Okay. There's a very, very, popular science fiction in China and Chinese. There's a science fiction that called the three-body problem. In Chinese, we call Santi. Is a very, very popular science fiction. Thus, the book do influence the opinion of Chinese people thinking about the aliens. We think that the aliens maybe we believe that the alien is somehow living in the different dimension with us, because in the book say the people we are living in the third dimension, but for the alien maybe they are living in the 9, the 10 dimension. So we couldn't see them, but they are able to see us. So
I see.
Yeah. Yeah, I tend to believe
I also heard
in
about
the
this.
opinion.
Guys, what I wanted to say is that we have been taught since our childhood that the universe is infinite. And of course, we cannot verify this, but we cannot refuse it either. So if we affirm the impossibility of the existence of life on another planet or galaxy, then this means that we affirm that our planet Earth and its existence is unique. So, for example, the Earth is unique since, for example, many factors coincided on it at once, from the right climate to evolution. This can also be a reality, but for me personally, it's much more difficult to believe in this than in the existence of life outside our planet. So, do you think that we are the only living beings in the universe?
Oh yeah, this is an interesting question. So recently on the television, I saw some videos about the real planet, which has the same axis as Earth, but we are spinning on the different sides of the sun. So the planet was called Nibiru, and the inhabitants of this maybe fictional and maybe not planet were called the reptiloids. Probably it's about the truth. What do you think about it, guys?
First statement of the news, like NASA explain why is UFO team will study and why it's important. I think, things happen for a reason. Why we spend, we are the human. Why humans spend so much money, to research about the UFO, the outer space, the galaxy, the aliens, not only the purpose of like we want to explore the beauty, the fantasy of the galaxy. I think for me personally, I think like maybe we are doing all these things because of fear. We want to protect ourselves maybe from the unknown. So we want to protect ourselves. Like we are afraid of being attacked by maybe it sounds funny, like maybe the alien will attack us or what. But in my opinion, I think we're doing all this stuff because of fear. We fear of the unknown. So we have to we have to like do something to tackling down our fears. We want the truth.
The fear pushes the researchers to further investigations. That is absolutely correct claim. So you're on IBS BFSU International Podcast. Please stay tuned. Debates on IBS BFSU International Podcast. On IBS BFSU International Podcast. Welcome back. This is Konstantin Malkov and IBS BFSU International Podcast. Today we're discussing the aliens, the fears, the investigations, researchers about the intergalactic lives. So, which topic we have to discuss during this release?
Are we going to discuss about the probability that life resembling humankind exists on the other planets?
All right, so human life exists on the other planets. So what kind of human life? Are they human or humane? Maybe humanoids?
Humankind exists.
Where? Where do humankind exist?
On the other planet.
Which planet then?
Galaxies.
Then
there are billions of stars in the Milky Way, similar to our sun. Therefore, at the level of theory, life can also exist there. So
there may just be a planet. Like there is so much to explore in space. There may just be a planet who has an ozone layer with a lot of trees and water that humans can inhabit. And of course, food. But I think there is a possibility. I may be right, I may be wrong, but I think that there's a possibility.
Alien food and alien cuisine. Which kind of noodles aliens eat? Question goes to you guys.
Besides
maybe they don't eat at all.
Oh my.
Like maybe besides science, like maybe there do have some humankind living on the other planet, but maybe they doesn't need water, doesn't need air to keep them alive. Maybe it's only for this, maybe this is the setting for the human on the earth but not on the other planet. You know what I mean? So we couldn't found that some tree or water on the other planet beside of Mars. We knew that Mars have water, and I mean like on the other planet maybe we couldn't find the trees, the air, the water, but maybe the humankind in there appear in the other kind, like animals or what, we don't know, right? But maybe they are the king of their planet, not human for them.
In 1980, there was a huge research about the existence of water and air on the other planets in the solar system. For instance, on Mars, as we found out recently, we have the water, but on the Venus, it is just theoretically proposed that it has the water. Probably if it is the water, therefore it is the air, therefore it is another planetary life. Is it possible, for instance, to travel to Mars or Venus? Would it be possible to travel to these planets in, let's say, 20, maybe 30 years ahead?
Oh, I read a newspaper, I think it was about 10 years ago. I was almost 10 years old, and there was an article that by the year of 2020, people will go to Mars. So now it's 2022 and people are not traveling to Mars. So I think not in near future.
I will reveal a secret to you. In 1980s, people were claiming that within 20 years we are going to travel to Mars. It was 2K. And in 2K, people were saying, in 10 years, we're going to travel to Mars. It is 2022 right now. We're still not traveling to Mars. Such a pity. All right, guys, which conclusions can we make out of our conversation?
We have yet to know the true answer to whether there is any forms of alien life, but it is speculation that there may be. There is no evidence that proves us that there is no alien life outside of Earth.
No alien life outside the Earth. Quite interesting proposal.
For now, we can only make assumptions according to the information we know from the scientists, for example. Maybe it's even a copy of our planet, and people there eat the same food as us, live their lives, laugh and smiling every day. I don't know. So we'll see.
Alien smile and alien
we'll
food.
know in future.
I agree.
Trace, I mean, what I meant to say was I believe that there is no evidence that says that there is no alien life outside of. There is no proof that there are no aliens. That's what I meant to say.
I tend to believe that there is no evidence yet. There's a yet inside there. Because for me, I tend to believe that we live with the different dimension with the aliens. So that's why we couldn't control them, we couldn't saw them, we couldn't see them, we couldn't contact with them. Yeah, maybe human is now making a lot of effort to maybe somehow contact with the outer space, the alien. But we have limited resource, we have limited knowledge, so it's not evident yet for me.
All right, guys, thank you very much for this wonderful conversation. So we don't have any evidence yet about the existence of alien life forms. You were on IBS BFSU International Podcast Debates. Me, Konstantin Malkov. Thank you for your listening to our podcast, and stay with us. Debates on IBS BFSU International Podcast. Latest news review on IBS BFSU International Podcast.
In the studio with the latest news, Issey Miyake, the Japanese fashion designer, dies of liver cancer aged 84. Issey Miyake is famous for creating a new way of plating the navel winkers who produced the signature black turtleneck of friends at Apple founder Steve Jobs. Miyake, whose name became a byword for Japan's economy and fashion prowess in 1980s. He developed more than a dozen fashion lines ranging from his men Issey Miyake for men and women to bag, watches and fragrances. Miyake is said to have wanted to become either a dancer or an athlete, with those original interests believed to be behind the freedom of movement his clothing permits. Not without my corgi, divorce in China turns nasty after couple can't agree on custody of pet dog. A divorce settlement in China stalled after the couple were unable to agree on custody of their pet dog. Corgi have gone viral on mainland social media. The couple have no children, but both enthusiastic animal lovers. The court held the couple divide up joint assets, including property and vehicle, quickly as neither party had an objection. However, when it came to their pet dog, the court was surprised that both demanded full custody of the animal. Eventually, the couple reached an agreement that the corgi would live with the women. Well, every month the man should pay alimony to her for taking care of the dog. This is all the news so far. We continue to monitor the situation. WIN Information Service, IBS BFSU International Podcast.
Latest news review on IBS BFSU International Podcast.
IBS BFSU International Podcast.
You're listening to the IBS BFSU International Podcast. Lisa is still in touch with you. Time is rapidly running forward without giving a single opportunity to stop. Our today's podcast comes to an end. However, how many new ones lie ahead? On behalf of myself and my colleagues, thank you for spending your time with us. We hope that the mood of positive emotions will remain with you until our next release. And now is the moment I say goodbye to you. As always, IBS BFSU International Podcast wishes you the best of luck, sharing love to all of you.
We are IBS.